Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian Forex pairs, and starting with the Aussie US here. As you know, we were looking at this in a possible triangle situation. We know that it's corrective because of this three-wave structure here. So we could have had an A wave here, a B wave here, a C wave here, D wave, E wave, and then down from that point. But the other count, of course, is much simpler, and it's a simple A wave, B wave, and then a C wave here in 5 waves. It may not go this high, but it certainly has potential to do that. We can also see too the 72 here was resistance and now developing as a nice support here, and we can expect further upside here. Trading long up here will create another top here at 73.50, but that eventually should become the support, so look for a classic trading levels pattern. So the level here, the 73.50 high here, so the arrival, the reaction, first high above the level, a corrective move in 3 waves, and then looking for support on this, and then moving up from there. That's pretty much how that will pan out. There's variations of this, of course. The first variation would be the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the retest to the level, and then moving off from there. But that's why we always take the first high here. If we get second highs like this one here, then we take the second high. Simple as that. The final pattern is the overshoot pattern, where the distance above that it goes without reacting when it gets there will be roughly the distance below here, and then the market will pretty much tune into that particular line here as a balance line here and do its thing here and then move off like that there. So that's what we can kind of expect to see here. The Australian yen is moving up nicely here. This is the 2-hour chart here, and we're pretty much on track here in terms of counting this structure up through here. So looking for wave 3 here, but also too, this is a level 2, this is a medium level, number 9, so it carries a fair bit of weight, and we'll expect to see a correction across there. We need to see it. This is just the arrival at the moment. I'll just have a look at the 15-minute chart and just have a look at what we've actually got to the upside so far. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we've got wave 1 and 2 here. We've got 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third here, fourth. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're very close to the top of the third here. So there'll be a third wave coming here, fourth wave, and a fifth wave here. And then we'll get an A and a B and a C correction from that point there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. On the next chart, I want to have a look at the Australian New Zealand dollar here. We'd been looking for this wave 4 to pull back to this wave 4 of 1 lesser degree and the 38.2 retracement level. So that's coming in nicely now. So you can find yourself a way in here to go long in here. We could just also wait for support here on the 1.1 here. That would be the safe trade. So if you've got time later on, then a nice support on this will do the trick. Otherwise, you can find a way in on these lows here. But this particular pattern moving down here is in 3 waves, so it's looking quite good as that. But that would be the safe trade on that point there. Also like to have a look at, we haven't looked at this for a while, but this is the the AUDCAD weekly, and I'm just going to stay with the weekly chart. I'm not going to break it down, but we'd been over this quite some time ago where we had this simple A wave, nice B wave in 3 waves, and then looking for wave C to move down here. And we called the low in when it came in down here and slowly been watching it move up. So if you're looking for a longer term trade and sprinkling just a small amount in this, then to continue building in this and then building on top of one as well, then would eventually see this top bin taken out here. So the other thing here too, I think is like worth pointing out, is that the A wave here, you see how sharp it is? And that's typical. That's how I'd see an A wave. Now, it's sharp in relationship to wave C here. You see how wave C is much lazier and it's sort of reluctant, the reluctant wave C, and it doesn't want to move down. I mean, it's moving down, but it's reluctant and gives all those overlapping wave structures and just basically a mess. You know that it's slowing down. So the personality of this ABC structure here. So looking for higher ground here, and this is a nice pattern across trading level 1 here. I mean, it's perfect. The next market I wanted to have a look at is the New Zealand US dollar here, and in this instance here is just the 2-hour chart. We've got wave 1 and wave 2 here, then wave 1 and wave 2. Nice third wave unfolding. It would come up into this channel area here. The third waves normally break through the channels here, so that's quite possible as well. You need to count 5 waves up in this structure here. We can see that this is the longest and strongest one in here, so right in the middle here would be the center of the wave 3 structure. So I don't think there's much more to go here. We'll hit this trend line, we'll see a wave 4 pullback, and then we'll see it move through the trend channel, and that basically confirms to us when something breaks out of a trend channel, then we know that we can confirm that we're in a bullish run here. But I can see that anyway. I mean, I can see we got 5 waves in here and so on. So anyway, I just thought I'd point that out. So there's obviously trading opportunities in this trend. And also the US dollar yuan here as well. I can't remember the Fed's comments now. I think that they did accept the yuan into their situation with a 10% something incorporation, but I have to recheck that. But not that it's make much difference to what we're doing here. Just on the daily chart, we're looking for this market to move up. We're currently long in this market, and the main point here is that if this market's going to fail, then it's going to fail at this medium level here, 6.5, 665 number. It's a medium level, and but otherwise we'll be looking for a much bigger trend to the upside, taking out these highs here. I mean, we're basically in wave. Well, we've already got another wave 2 in here, so it's wave. So we're in this wave 3. We're in this wave 3. We're in this wave 3. So I would expect it to continue to pick up speed within reason. I mean, that's quite a nice sort of trend at the moment. Just on the 2-hour chart, I think we've been working with this. So I'm a little bit unsure about the actual count for this coming up here so far, but it hasn't really bothered me because I know that market's going to move up. I know that the 65 is going to give us grief. I know we're going to have to be patient. I know we're going to have to leave the stops out of the way. That's what we're down here for with the stops. We've got some positions building in here. Our aim really now is to get on top of this level here as support. But the swings here can really come anywhere from 656. I have to double check on that, but somewhere up there all the way back down to probably 6 in here somewhere. You know, this is the swing range just in basic. You know, once we're working with this level here, it may not be the case, but I need to give that a bit more thought and find out exactly what we're talking about here and what we need to accommodate this, because I'm going to leave the stop well out of the way. I'm not going for the short-term trend here because there's a lot at stake. This is a much bigger trend, and once we're on top here and we start building on here, then yeah, we're sort of way ahead of the curve at that stage. So it's going to take a lot of courage to get past this number here. And that's the thing with making money, isn't it? You know, you can trade within the trend, and you know, but to get that sort of to go from one group of money to the next group of money, you normally need to accommodate some you know, some reasonable swings in the market, and it requires a bit of intestinal fortitude to get to that point. Okay, moving on to the pound Aussie. Obviously, we're seeing things in the bearish mode here, and also with the Euro Aussie as well. And just looking at this move from roughly the 2.1 area through here, this corrective move here, I can see that we've got wave 1 and 2 in here. I can see the whole third wave's not completed yet. There'll be a fourth and a fifth, so we'll be moving much lower in this space here. So if you're short, just continue to hold short. If you're not short, then you can move into being short as there's further downside to come here. This 205 here is going to be supportive, so you can expect a corrective pattern here and a reasonable bounce as well. So perhaps I should sort of enlarge that somewhat there to point that out there. But yeah, 5 is always a good number to have a bit of a bounce on. So, but it's got much further to move down. So continue to hold short or even get short. The Euro's not moving down that quick because we're looking for the Euro's in a bit of a corrective rally at the moment. But just opening this up through here, you can see that whichever way you look at it, we're moving lower. So that's really not the problem. The problem, or the issue we've got facing us now, is this little trend down through here. It hasn't expanded down like the pound has here, and it's certainly possible to get a little 5-wave structure out of here. But when I look at this in here closely, I can see that this is going to move down further as well. So I know the 145 is important, and I can see on the intraday that it's sticking to there, but I think we need to look for once that breaks through the 145, we need to look down to the 144, which will have a bit of a story to tell there as such. I just want to have a look at this here on a smaller frame here. Just bear with me for a second. Right, might even have to call that 1, 2 there. 1, 3, 5. I mean, 45 was our target, but I can see that that pattern is corrective. So I can see that we're going to be moving through here. 1, 2, right. So even from this point here, a 1 and 2 and 3, there's a little 4 in here. So we'll still end up down. Look at the 144. Yeah, take the break of that low, and we'll end up down at 144 there. All right. Well, that's covered a few pairs than normal, but all good there. Okay, cheers.